A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Realbooks webinar on Audit Trail with effect from 1st April 2023. Myself, Varsha Yadav. So I'll be taking the today's session, which will be all about the Audit Trail in Realbooks. So let's understand what is the guidelines as per the MCA for the audit trail of each and every transactions. So according to the Indian Ministry of Company Affairs MCA notification, every company that uses accounting software needs to maintain its books of accounts shall use only accounting software that has a feature of recording an audit trail of each and every transaction. So this notification was issued on March 24, 2021, which is now amended and will take effect from 1st April 2023. And the MCA has later announced that the above amendments will take effect from April 1, 2023, which suggests that the accounting software used by businesses will have to comply with the accounts rule beginning in the financial year of 2023 to 24. So what is the basic or what audit trail should record as per the MCA guidelines? Let's understand in details. So the first question that arises is that what should a good accounting audit trail feature contain? So point number one would be, what are the transactions that happen during the financial year and what accounts get affected when any transaction is modified? Second question comes up is when and who did it? Who did it? So what was its time span of the transaction? What user ID was associated with the transaction update? All sorts of details needs to get tracked. And the other question would be, what is the impact on the transaction? Which is what journal entries and debits and credits were impacted? Was the change positive or negative to the related transaction? And what was the difference in amount between new and old account? So let's begin with the Realbooks financial model. How does the audit trail gets activated would be the first question. So by default, audit trail is activated for all the companies and there is no param to enable or disable it manually. So because it's a mandate feature which needs to be there in the accounting software. So as you can see, I have already logged in with the username as Varsha Y over here, as you can see over here. So for example, I being the company, I am a data entry operator of the this particular company, and I am supposed to book few entries. For example, I'll go for transactions, accounts, and voucher. So for example, I am selecting bank receipt and I am selecting the party name as Adansa Solutions and I'm giving the amount as 5,800. Then comes the bill, which is TR001, and I am creating it. Then I will be updating it as bank, which is State Bank of India. Then I will give the details of check, say, suppose this is the instrument number, and I'll put it as add. Now over here, I'm not updating any narrations over here. And I'll simply click on submit. So my entry got successfully saved. I'll click on OK. Now I'll quickly come to reports, accounts, daily reports, and table. So over here, if I take the option of date of creation or voucher date as per the requirement. So right now I'm taking the voucher date and I'm clicking on search. So this was the entry which I updated right away. If I just open it in the edit mode, I will be finding one option of audit trail, as you can see over here highlighted on the options icon towards your right top one. So if I click over here, the data says no changes found. Why? Because the date of creation and edit is the same because I have still not edited the transaction. So as you can see, if I just escape and click on the options and click on the entry information, it can clearly give me what is the update date, who did it created by, and who did updated it, and the update. Create and update, all sorts of details are reflected. But now I will say suppose I am editing because at the time of transaction, I forgot to update the narration. So now I will be updating the narration and now I'll click on save. I'll click on OK. Now I'll click on search. So my narration got updated. And again, to check the audit trail, I'll just scroll towards down and I'll now click on audit trail. So now this is giving me the entire clarification that on 30th March at around 6:15:57, the transaction was updated by the username as Varsha Y, and the narration changed from blank. So the narration was completely blank. And then I updated the narration to blank to being receipt entry book. Now, in case if I just edited the transactions, I just opened it and by mistake or for some reason, I made no changes in the transaction and I just open it in edit and I click on submit. And then I click on OK. So technically, I didn't make any changes in my transaction. But as you can see over here, if I see my created update time is different over here. So in any case, I have to give a clarity that what did I update over there? So what I'll do, I'll just click again in the edit mode. Click over here, then click on the audit trail icon. So this particular voucher was updated twice. For the first changes, the narration was updated. For the second changes, I didn't make any changes in the transaction level. I just completely edited the opened the transaction in edit mode and I clicked on submit. So technically, I have not made any changes in the transactions. Now, since this is the username as Varsha Y, so now I'll switch to the other browser from where I have already logged in from the username as admin. So now at the time of reviewing or making any changes or whatever details which is updated by XYZ users in the books, if I just want to clear cut see it and make some random changes over there, so how does it look? Let's just check it. So I'll just change the date to today and click on submit. So this was the entry which was booked by me. I'm clicking on edit mode. And now say suppose the bank details which were updated, I by mistake updated the details of instrument number incorrect. This was not the correct instrument number. Rather, it was 0852140 and not 852147. Now if I click on add and click on submit. And now I click on OK. Now over here, if I edit it, click on the options icon and click on the audit trail. So all the three changes are reflecting. The first, which was done by the username as Varsha Y. The second, where it was just edited and no changes were made. And the third, the latest change was made by the username as admin. And for State Bank of India, the instrument number was changed from so and so. So all those details are getting tracked over here. So now suppose if I have to make the changes in amount, let's check that how does the data is getting tracked over here. So instead of 5,800, the amount was actually 58,000. So if I give the amount over here, so my bill amount also needs to get changed. And I'll click on create. And then the ledger, which is on debit side, also needs to get changed and click on submit. Okay. Now if I open the transaction and I will click on the options icon. And now if I click on the audit trail icon, so 4 times the transaction has been edited. So I will be checking the latest one. So over here, amount for the ledger, State Bank of India, it got changed from 5,800 to 58,000. And my party ledger also got changed from 5,800 to 58,000. And the bill amount also got changed. So all the 3 changes are getting tracked in my audit trail. So as you can see, all the details are getting tracked, which user updated, when it was updated. So all sorts of details are getting tracked. And this will be visible from all the users, whoever is having the transaction edit permission. So now, as you can see, all these details now, in case if I have by mistakenly updated the transaction in Bhawanipur segment, and this doesn't belongs to this particular segment, and I'm supposed to switch the segment. So I click on Mumbai and it will ask me a confirmation. Do you want to change the segment? If I click on OK, automatically the transaction gets saved. As over here in the daybook also, you can see the segment name is Bhawanipur. Now, if I refresh the screen, it gets changed from MUM, which is Mumbai. And now if I click on the edit icon and click over here as audit trail, You will be finding the changes that the segment name was changed from Bhawanipur to Mumbai. So as you can see that each and every change which is impacting my transactions, all these details will get tracked one by one, who did it, when it was done, all these details with all minute information will get tracked in your books of accounts. So now again, one more last changes which I'll do. I will make the changes of voucher type. So as you know that the voucher type can be switched based on the nature. So in case if you have updated the or created the transaction in the nature of receipt and you have 4 more voucher types under the receipt nature, you can always switch the voucher type. So if I'm switching it and I am clicking on submit, these details will also get tracked in your audit trail. So if I click over here and click on your audit trail, so 7 changes were made because since I made the changes in the voucher type, the numbering is getting changed. My voucher name is getting changed. My business place got changed because that particular business place was not marked in that particular details. So the business place also got changed, the GSTIN number. So all sorts of details, whatever was involved in those changes, all minute details are getting tracked in the transaction stream. So this was about the accounting transaction. Now quickly, I'll take the question and answers for the audit trail related to accounting transaction, and then we will move to the inventory transaction, that how the audit trail is working for our purchase and sale transactions. So please go ahead for all your queries and I'll be happy to answer them one by one. So I'm getting one query that what if the transaction is getting cancelled? Okay, so over here, as you can see, like for example, let's just cancel this particular transaction. So I being an admin, I will cancel the transaction. You want to cancel this voucher? It says okay, and the voucher got. Now over here, you will be finding the audit trail for this as well. Audit trail as in you will get the details that when was the voucher cancelled. Although all the details were tracked, that what all changes were done from whom, by which particular user, all those details are getting tracked. So the date or the time and the user who cancelled the transaction will get updated over here. As well as if you click over here as cancel voucher, you will get the details of all the cancelled details with the entry information that when was it created, who created it, and who lastly updated it. So this is for the cancelled vouchers of any transaction, be it inventory or accounting. Okay, I am getting one question from Monica in the chat box. It says that if we have maker checker implemented, then how the checker will get notification that what changes are done? Okay, so the maker checker is as simple as that. I mean, if you that's a completely different feature in Realbooks. Like there is a notification icon that over here in masters, there is an option of notification. That what you want to what the notification needs to be updated, whom it needs to be updated on the activity of create, edit, delete. So all these details, as usual, it will be updated by as per the maker checker or the notification. But the audit trail, that what all changes, since there will be huge number of changes and all the details, it will for checking that you will always have to come into Realbooks to check that all these what are the audit trails and the detailing. For the detailing part, you will always have to log in into Realbooks to check the audit trail part. But you will be always notified, okay, some changes has been done, or the voucher was edited, or it was deleted. So all those of details will get notified by as per the notification, which is already there in the Realbooks. Okay, I'm getting one more question from Palash, that what if the entry is deleted? So we will be providing one more report under the daybook section itself as the permanent delete. As you can see, you already have the options of temporary delete or remove vouchers, the cancel and the standard. One more option will be reflecting as deleted transactions, which was permanently deleted. So you will be getting the list of transactions, same like the cancel voucher, who created it, when was it last updated, and who deleted it. So all those of details will be reflecting for the deleted vouchers. So by 1st of April, you will be getting that particular record. Okay, so I am having a question from Manish Jaiswal in the chat box. That is this possible to see the all changes of a particular ledger at one go, means a single for a particular ledger? No, as for the MCA norms, all the detailings needs to be updated one by one. What was the initial changes, then the second changes, then the third changes. So you'll always have to see the audit trail in that way only, because as for the norms, the user should be aware, or the other user, whoever is logging in that particular books accounts, he or she must be aware how many times the changes were done, who did it, what was the time, and what were the changes done by that specified user at that specified time. So it is designed that way only. Any more query related to the audit trail of accounting transactions? Okay, great. So now I'll quickly move on for the inventory transactions so that we can view that what all audit trails are getting recorded for those transactions as well. So I'll quickly change the segment to, say, suppose Bhavanipur. Now this time I am logged in via the username as admin. Previously I was with the other user. So I'll go to transactions, inventory, sales item, and save. So over here, I'm taking the example of direct sale. This will get same equally get applied for the chaining sales and the chaining purchases as well. It's just as a sample, I'm taking one example invoice, and I'm updating it as sale ledger as sales, and then the party as Vidinsa Solutions. And the item name now will be updated as Fossil Watches 50 and 1980. And now I will give the update as one more item I'll be needing, which would be quartz watch, and it will be 17, and I will be updating the amount as 2100. Then I will click on done. So now over here for Fossil Watches, I am updating the GST ledger, which would be GST 18%, with the date as 18. Now for the second item, I am not updating any tax ledger. I'm clicking on compute tax, and I will be giving the duration as being sale entry code. And now I'll click on submit. Okay, it says to update the voucher, it will be like say AUD and 110. And now I will click on submit. Okay, so the voucher got successfully saved. Now we will quickly go to the report section, which is reports, accounts, daily reports, and daybook. So I'm preferring daybook because it is easier for me to track the entries. The edit can be done from any report, irrespective you are doing it from ledger report or from drill down of trial balance or ledger group report, irrespective. If you are making any changes in the your transaction, all these details will have the same impact. So now if I click on the edit icon of sales transaction, and then quickly check if there is any audit trail or not. So there is an option of audit trail. I will click on the audit trail. So right now I have not made any changes. And so it says that no changes found. Now I will make slight changes. For example, I'm adding the GST ledger for the other item in the entry, as say suppose this time I'll update the other ledger as 28% and give the date as 28 and click on compute and submit. Data got saved successfully. And now I will be opening it in the edit mode. And I will be clicking on the options icon available at the right top corner. And I will click on audit trail. So on 30th of March at 6:32:01, the 4 changes were made by the user admin. So let's check what all changes has been made. Since I added the GST ledger, so it resulting effect was that it increased the party value, which is Adansa Solutions changed from the amount for the party changed from 134,700 to 144,696. The other change which was done was a new row was added for IGST output at the rate 28% with so and so amount. And for Adansa Solutions voucher bill reference, because the bill details also got changed with the amount of the party. So it says that the bill reference also got changed from so and so amount, and new row was added for quotes for tax ledger. So this detailing will be given that the GST ledger was added for which item and what was the date. So now, for example, if I made some changes or made some mistakes, that instead of putting it IGST, if I was supposed to update it as CGST and SGST, so all those changes will also get tracked. So let's quickly check that how does it works. We will be updating it as CGST output 6% and 6. I will be giving the rate as 6. And over here for this, I will be updating it as CGST output of, say, suppose 9 or probably 6 only. And I will be updating it as 6. And then again, I will be selecting the fossil watches as GST output as 6% and 6. And then again for the second item, I will be updating it as SGST output 6% and click on compute tax and click on submit. So again, my party value got changed, bill reference got changed, my GST ledgers value got changed, the GST ledgers got changed rather. So all those details will get recorded in my audit trail. So this is the icon over here. I will be clicking on the audit trail part. So 2 changes were done. First changes were done again by the admin and the second also by the admin. So all the details in detail, all the audit tracking has been done in the transactions. So what are the 16 changes over here? The sales ledger amount got changed, the party ledger got changed. I have added 2 more rows of SGST output and CGST output with so and so amount. I removed the ledger of IGST output. What was the initial amount which was removed? All those details are getting tracked. The bill reference got changed, and for the fossil watch amount got changed because I am adding the GST as well. So all the details of GST changes are getting tracked in the audit trail. So in any case, if for my example, instead of taking the changes out of the quantity and from 17 to 7, if I make the changes and click on done, compute tax, and now click on submit. So all the fields or all the data in minute details will get recorded in my audit trail. It is applicable both for purchase, sale, as well as for the entries which are coming from the chaining from purchase order or sale order. So all those details will get tracked in your audit trail itself. So as you can see, the 12 changes were done. So what all 12 changes were done? What was the change which was exactly done, and due to this particular changes, what all ledgers got impacted and affected? All sorts of new tracking of audit trail has been done in Realbooks. So this was about the transaction stream of inventory and accounts of audit trail. In case of any query, please go ahead with that. I will be happy to answer them all. So I'm having 2 more queries coming up in the chat box that says, will there be any combined or consolidated report of changes of edits or a particular period of time? See, our daybook is already recording, as you can see in my standard Realbooks. Okay, I will just quickly go for all segment. So as you can see right from the beginning in my Realbooks, if I just go to daybook and click on the options of entry information, so I'm already getting the information that whether the create date and update date or the create user and update user are same or not. So all those details are already getting tracked. For the minute detailings on audit trail, that what all details, what all changes were done, who created it, who edited it, in between of these created and updated time and user, all those details, for that details you will have to get into the transaction, because all these details are getting tracked in transaction wise. So the other question is it possible to get a report of an audit trail for a particular period? Again, the answer is same. We are already having all the details tracking of cancelled voucher, deleted voucher will be live by 1st April itself. And the deleted, cancelled, created, updated, all sorts of details of first create and the last updated are already there in the daybook for the standard and the cancelled option of your daybook. For the detailings part, you have to get into the transaction edit mode so that you can have all sorts of detailing, like 4 to 5 times it was changes, what all changes were done, who made those changes. All these transaction detailing will be available in the transaction edit mode. Any other query? In case if you have any query, you can obviously add your query in the chat box, as well as you can unmute yourself and go ahead with your queries.
Hi Varsha, this is Manish from Super Procure.
Hi Manish.
So I've got a couple of queries, more from auditor's point of view. Okay. Number one, since everyone is asking about the report of audit trail, it might be actually required, because from here we can only see whether the creation date and update date are the same or not. However, there would be hundreds of entries and the auditors would actually need a report, because they need to report in their audit report also on the audit trail feature. And they would need to check whether the a dump of all the entries where the changes were done and what changes were done. So is it possible for you to maybe get a report around this? Second, the auditor also needs to report on their audit report whether the audit trail feature was operational throughout the financial year and had not been tampered with. So how can this be ensured so that the auditor can give the report in their auditor's report?
Okay. So the first query, I would like to answer that query, that we have, I mean, as per the MCA guidelines, no report or no format was introduced that, okay, this format is supposed to be tracked in the consolidated report, and that's the reason the report has not been designed. Obviously, that is doable because we are updating all sorts of those transactions, or the detailing of audit trail is already getting tracked in the Realbooks. So we can create it in our due course as for the format or whatever guidelines as and when we receive the feedbacks. So that won't be an issue for us to do. And the second query is, I'll just check with the detailings from my team once, that as per the auditor's point of view, whether it was tampered or not, with how the detailings, how we can provide it to you.
Exactly. Both the points are from the auditor's point of view, because when the auditors would come to the office, they would definitely ask for a dump for all the changes, because it would be difficult for them to go to individual entries, because there would be hundreds of entries and there would be changes. So it would not be possible for them to go to individual entry and see what changes were done and not.
Yeah, that's the reason I told you, because we'll have to plan out for the design and the formats part. Because since it was not designed, because we didn't have any format from the government norms or the MCA norms. Because
right. So I hope in the due course some format and reporting would come.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else, if you want to have the question raised for audit trail for whatever details that we discussed today, please come up. I'll be happy to answer them all.
Yeah. So in case you see there is a change in any entry, so first there will be a, suppose there is an incorrect entry.
Okay.
And second entry we pass is the reversal of that entry.
Okay.
And third entry we pass is the correct entry now.
Okay.
Will there be a trail in that case?
So you are, okay, you said 3 points over here. You are creating one incorrect entry, then you are passing an auto reversal entry. So in passing the auto reversal view entry, you are creating the other transaction. Am I correct?
No, after some time, suppose I realize that there's a wrong entry which has been passed, and I then reverse that entry. I'm not correcting anything. I am passing another entry by correcting that entry, right?
Mhm.
And then I am passing a correct entry.
Okay,
So
so
will there
that
be a
means,
trail in that case?
okay, that means you are creating 3 different entries. Am I
Yes,
correct?
yes, all
Okay.
3 different.
Okay, so
But
over here,
but I am actually correcting that my mistake. I
okay,
am
so
actually correcting my mistake.
So over here, in case if you're correcting your mistake, as what I have understood is, even if you're correcting your mistake, but as per my system, you're creating 3 different transactions.
Exactly.
So my system won't ever know that, okay, first or the auto reversal entry is related to the first entry or the linking. There is no linking of
There is no
auto
linking. There is no
reversal. Yeah.
linking.
So, okay, so my system will treat it as a completely fresh entry. I mean, like you have created, like, for example, 3 entries are right in front of your screen. For example, if I say that the first entry that I booked, or which is displaying with the voucher number as 00003, that is the incorrect entry, but I have not edited it. I have not deleted it because it is a very past or the post, very stale entry, as you can see in the books of accounts. And now I don't want to go back and edit that transaction. Instead, I want to create an auto reversal entry on the current date or probably any specified date. So that time, what my system will consider it will consider a completely different voucher because there is no linking with the first entry. So it will treat it as a completely fresh entry. So audit trail, what norm says, or the audit trail is all about for editing that particular transaction. So in case if you're not touching the transaction, you're not making any changes in the existing transaction, the audit trail will not come into the scenario.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. In case if nobody is having any query related to the audit trail, which is implemented in the Realbooks software itself, this video is a recorded video and this will be available on our official YouTube channel as well for the later references, as well as we are having the weekly session on every Friday at 6 p.m. And the notification is already available in the Realbooks in case if you log in, that you will be always having one envelope icon, which keeps the color keeps on changing as per the different sessions which we track over there. So you can always follow those sessions on the YouTube channel, as well as you can join us in the live sessions so that we can have one-to-one queries and answers. And accordingly, if any query is there related to any video, you can always reach out to our support team. We always will be happy to help you out answering all the queries. So thank you so much for joining today's session. Hope the session helps out us all in the Realbooks accounting software. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.